confirm to you that generally we had a peaceful election in the Ankole sub-region. We are just waiting for results. So that's what happened, Canary. Let me get back to you at the Political Command Center. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Alex Mgasha and Benson, and to you, Gerard. We continue to, of course, monitor that election to see who will be declared, of course, winners in the different elections. And, of course, it's now 9 o'clock. You know what time it is? It's time for NBS Live at 9.
Elections 360. You keep informing people of everything that is happening. And I am more convinced than ever that I'm built for anchoring stories, not being part of elections.
You're part of the elections because you're reporting on elections.
As an anchor, the moment it involves votes, I am out. But on headlines, I mean.
NBS Live at 9.
Being a presidential aspirant or candidate is not compulsory.
The political stage is set.
All vehicles that you see here are meant to enable the Electoral Commission to execute its mandate.
Escort cars for presidential security details are here. We have the details. Nominations for presidential candidates. Yoweri Museveni and Robert Kyagulanyi dates set. Same day, same activities. What is in store for their supporters? NUP protests exclusion from iPod activities.
Were conscripted into iPod by force, by law.
Why weren't they invited? Who will carry the day?
You're not just going to be part of Chinyumo sitting there.
UAE suspends insurance of tourist and work visas for Ugandan nationals effective January 2026.
Ugandans go to the UAE and overstay. Ugandans go to the UAE and they don't respect the cultures of the UAE.
This is NBS Live at 9 with Kanuri Mukume and Samson Kasumba.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening on NBS Live at 9. We begin where we should. It is the Electoral Commission that has unveiled a fleet of brand new vehicles to escort successful candidates after next week's nomination exercise. But there is a but here. With the deadline fast approaching, only a handful of aspirants have returned their papers, and these did speak about certificates which were delayed, certification which was delayed, and that certification that was delayed has in turn delayed their fundraising for the 20 million shillings nomination fee. Will that be 200 of them, or is that figure going to go down? Let's find out from this story.
At the Electoral Commission headquarters, it was the cars, not the candidates, that stole the show. Brand new 10 Toyota Land Cruiser Prados and 15 pickups were delivered at the Electoral Commission headquarters ahead of nominations.
All the vehicles bearing the number plates of government you see here are meant to enable the Electoral Commission to execute its mandate, to make sure that the materials reach where they should be in time, to make sure that the staff of the commission reach where they should be, whether it is the chairperson of the commission or the foot soldiers that take materials from across the country.
According to the Electoral Commission, the Prados are for the commissioners and the pickups are for the security of presidential candidates who will have finished the nomination next week.
Each candidate, after nomination, will be handed a security vehicle with a driver and with the security personnel on it. That vehicle is not for the candidate to use.
But while the cars are ready, the candidates are not. Out of more than 200 who picked forms, only 38 have so far submitted their nomination papers.
38 people have so far returned the supporter lists from those that picked the nomination forms and supporter forms here at the Electoral Commission.
Some aspirants are frustrated by the delays in confirmation, saying this has blocked their fundraising efforts for 20 million nomination fees, which they are supposed to bank before nomination next week.
You know, I do a fundraising, and my people, some of them want to first see that certificate. You know, after verification, they give you a certificate that shows the Katumba has done with this process. Now they have delayed that.
Then when we are verified, you get the courage to go to face someone, a potential funder, sponsor, to fundraise, or to even borrow.
It's kind of a little time that the Electoral Commission gave us, but you cannot advise them because they are our bosses.
The Electoral Commission is expected to officially take over Lubowa grounds tomorrow, which will serve as a nomination venue next week.
Candidates, did you hear that? The vehicles are not yours. Now let's move over to the police, and it is the Inspector General of Police, Abbas Byakagaba, that has tasked all political players to desist from violence, asking the Lord to maintain law and order in the anticipated presidential nominations. He did assure the nation that there will be security to secure both the elections, and emphasizing abuse of the law will not go without action from the security agencies. Abbas Byakagaba did reiterate that no one shall be spared from the full wrath of the long arm of the law should they choose to cross the legal red line.
The Uganda Police has issued caution to all political actors to maintain calm ahead of the presidential nominations and the general elections 2026, saying it has done its role in securing the country. The Inspector General of Police, Abbas Byakagaba, in a press briefing cautioned that anyone who will fault the national laws over political excitement should be ready to face the law.
The nominations will be followed by campaigns across the country. Uganda Police Force has undertaken deliberate measures towards securing the general elections. I want to encourage all actors and citizens to exercise their rights responsibly and to respect the rights of others. The laws of the country are not in abeyance during the electoral process.
As presidential candidates gear up for the nominations on 23rd and 24th, with some clearing public rallies immediately after nominations, the IGP says any political activity that is not authorized by security shall not take precedence.
All political activities must be within the confines of the law, and activities that contravene traffic regulations, inciting violence, hooliganism, computer misuse, destruction of property, and spreading false information will not be tolerated.
Byakagaba asked the youth to desist from violent acts while exercising their rights as citizens, insisting that police will safeguard the entire election against all nature of crime. He also noted other laws that could see several arrested if faulted.
Resist manipulation by individuals or groups who may seek to use you as instruments of violence. Uganda Police Force reaffirms its responsibility to safeguard the electoral process by working collaboratively with all stakeholders. Let us remain vigilant and guard against negative elements that may orchestrate criminality in the electoral activities.
It is the National Unity Platform that has announced that final preparations for the nomination of its presidential candidate on Tuesday next week are now in full gear and done. According to their plan unveiled by the party officials, Two rallies are slated to be held in Katwe and Natete here in Kampala. Now, that will be shortly after Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu's nomination by the Electoral Commission. NUP President Robert Kyagulanyi declared that he is ready to lead his supporters towards a liberated Uganda, and he did say that that journey officially does begin on Tuesday next week. Now, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu also took a swipe at Justice and Constitutional Affairs Minister Norbert Mao, who recently claimed that political transition in Uganda has already started and will not require the general election.
NUP President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has confirmed that he will appear before the Electoral Commission Tuesday next week for nomination and shortly after hold two rallies in Natete and Katwe respectively, just like the NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Museveni, who will hold his in Kololo.
We have written to the police and they've received our communication. We are holding our rally in Katwe, and after Katwe we shall proceed to Natete and also speak to the people there, because there's nothing criminal about that.
That's why I said the transition will not be based on elections. These things are already happening in the rooms which matter.
Kyagulanyi also took a swipe at Justice and Constitutional Affairs Minister for making comments about a political transition that he says are borderline criminality.
We saw him coming out to say, no, the future of Ugandans is not going to be determined by election. That means the future of Ugandans is not going to be determined by Ugandans. This is a president of the so-called Democratic Party undermining democracy and saying democracy has no role in the future of Uganda. I saw him saying this is going to be a silent election. You're joking, my brother. We shall speak, we shall shout, we shall scream.
Meanwhile, NUP continued with the vetting of parliamentary aspirants for both direct MP candidates and woman district woman MP from Greater Mpigi, Bunyoro and Karamoja regions.
I am good at speaking and articulating matters of national importance when you compare to my opponent.
Trust me, believe me, once I get the party ticket or the party flag, once I get to Parliament, I'll air out your views and they will be heard.
On Friday, the party's Electoral Management Committee will vet candidates from Greater Mukono, Sebei, Teso and Rwenzori sub-regions.
The Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue, IPOD, met this evening resolving how political parties will move under the new arrangement. Joining us is the chairman of the People's Progressive Party, Saddam Gaira, to shed light on that. But before he does, let's get into the story. Mr. Saddam Gaira is with us. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Let's just catch up on the meeting and the inner workings of it. What are the major resolutions reached during tonight's IPOD meeting, particularly regarding the collaboration and dialogue among Uganda's political parties? What are the new news?
First of all, we went to recommit ourselves on, participating in IPOD. That was a sign of recommitment. Secondly, we resolved that the new bill should be amended once again to cater for how somebody joins IPOD and how somebody, opts out of IPOD. Secondly, we discussed about funding of political parties in respect to the election, because as you are very much aware, the law provides that during election, the funding to parties is supposed to be on equal basis. So that was also one of the issues we discussed. But also to Uganda amend the law again to make IPOD an entity which is self-accounting, which is, autonomous from the Electoral Commission. Because as of now, the Electoral Commission is supposed to chair and house, iPod and NCF. So this time round, we want to separate the two. We want to separate iPod and the National Consultative Forum. So those are some of the issues, but also the number of issues. For instance, the law does not provide on how to treat the parties that, join Parliament in the middle of the tenure. Because as you know, now there is DF, which now is represented in Parliament. There is PFF, which is represented in Parliament, and Ecological Party. But the law is not explicit on how those are supposed to be treated. These are some of the issues which needs to be ironed out before we roll out to a fully-fledged, operationalization of iPod.
Funding is always going to be a big issue, and I'd like to inquire on this. President Yoweri Museveni has previously advocated for the equal distribution of iPod funding. Was this discussed, and are there any indications of how this money is likely to be allocated, from now going forward?
Of course, the government has committed itself. President Museveni is now the chairman of iPod, and he's the president of the country as well. So he committed himself to that fact that this time around, the law shall be implemented as it is, because the law is very specific during election that money should be distributed equally, but only to those parties that are assigned to iPod. All the other parties that are in Parliament, but they are not assigned to iPod, they are not supposed to be beneficiaries to that funding.
Mr. Gaira, thank you very much. That's going to be very interesting news. Still on iPod, the National Unity Platform has protested what they called exclusion from the matters of the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue. And we're talking also the National Consultative Forum here and its constitutive organs. The protest does come at a time when political parties that subscribe to iPod have been invited for a meeting with the President Yoweri Museveni with NUP seemingly not in the mix. Now, in a letter to the Electoral Commission, and that's dated the 17th of September, NUP Secretary General David Lewis Rwongoya made reference to the letter of the 4th of September 2025 addressed to the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs protesting against the illegal exclusion from the discussions relating to the National Consultative Forum and its constitutive organs, the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue, IPOD.
All the issues they have discussed don't get to be acted upon. Parties go out there and they cannot mobilize. And so we said we're not just going to be part of Chinyumo sitting there and nothing gets to happen. You can't even go out and mobilize. Now they said, let's conscript you within the law. That's why we have been saying that now that you conscripted us forcefully within the law to say that we are now members of IPOD, can we know, what are you guys doing? Where are those regulations? Honorable Mao, you're very busy running around saying too many things. You're not busy doing your job as Minister of Justice. Where are the regulations that are meant to put the amended law into effect? We want to look at them because those regulations affect us now that we were conscripted into iPod. And that's why we have been saying, can we see what do those regulations look like? Those MOUs people are signing, can we see what do they look like? Because you will pass regulations and other things which affect us as members and we don't know what's therein. So we want to see them now that we were conscripted within the law.
It is the Minister of Internal Affairs, retired Major General Kahinda Otafire, that has tasked the government and those with and in power to consider reflecting on the past and reminding them to guard against watering down the fruits registered in years gone by. Otafire spoke during the memorial lecture of the late Sam Kaleganjuba, organized by the Uganda Law Society, who was a senior counsel and a very celebrated icon of the rule of law in Uganda.
Thought that since I had done nothing wrong.
During the commemoration of the late Sam Kalaganjuba, legal brain spit fire over the continued breach of the judicial system, calling for deployment of radicalism.
and in patriotism. The Radical New Bar was formed to challenge and dismantle a broken judicial system.
Reflecting on the status of rule of law in the country, Kampala Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago has called for legal activism to respond to the contemporary situation in Uganda that may revert the situation, including continued denial of Kizza Besigye's bail.
Initially, that was 2006 when Besigye got interim bail. Years down the road, we are reversing those gains. Besigye, who got interim bail in 2006, cannot get mandatory bail, which is fundamentally provided for in the Constitution.
It's here that Uganda's Internal Minister, Major General Kahindo Tafere, disclosed that sometimes the governed are right.
Sometimes the governed are wrong. When the governed are wrong, it's the duty of the leaders to patiently explain to the governed where they have gone wrong. But more often than not, the governed are right. Those who are governed, when you see them crying, when you see them jumping up and down, don't suppress them.
Major General Kahinda has experienced worries over the continued disappearance of some Ugandans.
Listen, families are now beginning to call on us to give them bodies to borrow. We who fought Idi Amin for the very reason. Excuse me. When people of my size, height, and weight disappear without trace, that's a problem.
The Attorney General, Chiriowa Chiwanuka, advised the team to reconsider utilizing proper channels to iron grievances.
I do not subscribe to the school of thought where I see something wrong and I have the authority to do something about it, and I'm not doing anything about it. So we can actually work with private members' bills. All these things you're talking about can be addressed that way. Maybe I'm not a politician enough to understand that this may be an opportunity to raise these issues, but we have a correct forum.
Interesting. The Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy has launched a nationwide peace campaign ahead of the 2026 general elections. The peace campaign is dubbed Let's Talk Peace. Now, this initiative does call for elections built on tolerance, dialogue, and respect for every voice. But it was at the launch itself that there was a spark for sharp debate, with opposition figures and policy analysts saying that the campaign should now have been focused on the role of security agencies in electoral violence, suggesting they are the key culprits, or is it culprits, for violence.
Right from the first elections in Uganda in 1962 to the most recent in 2021, voting in this country has too often been accompanied by violence, intimidation, and mistrust, sometimes ending into loss of life and deep social scars. As the country heads towards another general election cycle, one international organization says it wants to help rewrite that story.
Today marks the official launch of the Let's Talk Peace campaign. Thank you, everyone.
The Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy, NIMD, launched a peace campaign codenamed Let's Talk Peace. NIMD country representative Primus Atukwase Bahigi says the campaign aims to instill a culture of non-violence throughout the 2025-2026 election period by encouraging Ugandans to embrace peace as a lifestyle, not just a slogan.
For us, it's not just a name, it's a call to action, to engage, to listen, and to build consensus around peaceful and credible elections.
To me, this shows your commitment to be adequately prepared for the upcoming general elections, ensuring citizens will be able to cast their votes freely and in a safe environment.
Funded by the European Union under Tongea Let's Talk project, the initiative will roll out a series of activities. A key feature is Let's Talk Caravan, a mobile hub that will visit electoral hotspots, host dialogue sessions, artistic performance, and civic education. The program will also include edutainment events targeting young people, and a peaceful election caravan and National Peace Conference to secure public commitment from stakeholders. But what began as a launch full of promise quickly turned into a political debate.
The key guarantor of peace in any body politic is the state. Now, for the case of Uganda, the state has largely been captured and is deployed as part of the political machinery of the incumbent.
We're dealing with power addicts, just like any other addict. In the opposition, in the government, they want to have power by force. And power, the way we know it, is not a child's play. It's kept out of reach of children.
Feedback brought to you by
At ABSA Corporate and Investment Banking, we are invested in your story, and we invite you to write it with us because your story matters. ABSA.
Let's look at your feedback here on NBS Live at 9, shall we? In a bit. And first, let's get to the question, which is, in your view, what should be the priority to ensure peaceful 2026 general elections? That was the question. So let's look at some of your feedback. And the Rainmaker says there should be a level ground for political players, fair and just exercise by the Electoral Commission, security agencies and all stakeholders. Uganda is our home. That is he. And prioritizing transparency, Luna here, prioritizing transparency, respect for rule of law, early dialogue among stakeholders and strengthening electoral institutions will be key to ensuring peaceful elections. Let's see somebody else here. I think that was just about it for the day. So one of the things now we are going to do right after this is to look at the top stories.
Top stories brought to you by
Engineer, Uganda Bati. Genjagala go.
Uganda Bati, Uganda's most trusted building solutions partner.
If you just joined us, it is my pleasure to let you know what the top stories have been. And the top on the top has been Uganda's Electoral Commission unveils a new vehicle fleet ahead of the crucial nomination exercise that will be next week. But the caveat is that these vehicles are not for the candidates. And NUP sets a stage for Chagulanyi's presidential nomination with rallies expected to be in Natete. And finally, in not so good news, the UAE is suspending issuance of tourist and work visas to Ugandan nationals effective January 2026. If we don't get those, Uganda is beautiful, we will stay here. Or there are other countries that want us to go there. I mean, like, yeah.
Study abroad with UNISERV. UNISERV brings you the Study Abroad Fair in Kampala. On September 19th, the exclusive school fair at Kaboja International School. And on September 20th, the public fair at Golf Course Hotel Kampala from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Meet representatives from over 30 top global universities and discover your study abroad opportunities. Your future starts here.
Welcome! What's our topic today?
Kutambulanga chinawolovu.
Bera mokirasi! The biggest back to school promotion season 3 is here. Bera mokirasi! When you buy Focus products worth 16,000 to 24,000 Uganda shillings, you win a bucket or basin. And when you buy Focus products worth 45,000 and above, you win a school bag and lots of other prizes. Move it! All day confidence.
With Momo, you have the power to pay for shopping more easily using your phone. Dial *165*3# or scan to download Momo app and pay for anything. No hassle for change. And even better, if you run out of money while paying, you can simply add core with Momo Advance. That's Momo. That's the power to be more.
Are you excited for your birthday tomorrow?
Yes, Mommy. It's going to be the best day ever. Ignoring speed limits isn't just breaking the law, it is risking lives. It is 30 kilometers per hour for a reason. Slow down.
Ochikoze mwana, shop is stocked, customers ready. Now it's time for takeoff. So offer them more. Become a Wendy agent today and offer mobile money top-ups, customer service support, utility payments, water, power, pay TV. You're now. Turn your shop into a Wendy agent hub and commissions on every tap and easy access to loans.
That's right. More foot traffic, more sales, more profit, paid instantly. Register free. Call 0800-217-200 or WhatsApp 0707-993-930.
Wendy Wonawoli.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth, in the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Welcome back. Now, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, has announced a significant policy shift, suspending the issuance of tourist and work visas to Ugandan nationals effective January 2026. This decision is, however, poised to have far-reaching implications for thousands of Ugandans who had aspirations of traveling or working in the United Arab Emirates.
Immigration circular from the UAE has placed Uganda on a visa ban list, barring Ugandans from applying for tourist and work visas beginning early 2026. This policy, labelled temporary, also impacts several other countries including Cameroon, Sudan, Somalia, among others.
But it's a lesson to Ugandans to behave, to respect other countries' rules and regulations. Yeah, but that story confirms what the UAE has all the time said. The UAE has always said that Ugandans go to the UAE and abuse their visa regime. Ugandans go to the UAE and overstay. Ugandans go to the UAE and they don't respect the cultures of the UAE. Ugandans go to the UAE and do funny things. So the BBC program has now confirmed what these people have been saying all along and has given them the justification to bring the restriction.
Many Ugandans who had planned to travel, work or do business in the UAE are now uncertain.
You wonder what will happen to those that are still there. If they began with blacklisting for visa application and Uganda is among those countries, it may mean a lot that probably they are planning deportation of many. And our government may seem not concerned as usual, but we want them to be concerned.
Despite being on the ban list, those already in the UAE under valid visas are reportedly not affected, at least for now. Early this year, the United States of America also put restrictions on Ugandan visa timelines, something that put pressure on Ugandan citizens.
The question of human trafficking remains, and
was even made worse by the revelation of the BBC story, meaning countries cannot honestly and with justification trust an application by a Uganda passport holder. Presumption that either someone was trafficked, there's a presumption that possibly the holder of that passport is not a Ugandan. Now, this raises questions and further worsen our passport index and acceptability.
This visa ban could have major implications, from disrupted remittances, affected trade, to thousands of Ugandans potentially being stranded without new travel opportunities. As diplomats work behind the scenes, many are wondering what this means for Uganda's migration policies moving forward.
A section of youth and other stakeholders within the ruling NRM party have described the recent election as the most peaceful and transparent. The youth elections held across the country to elect structural leadership of the National Youth League and party youth members of parliament flag bearers. The elections, which were meant to be held at national level, were scheduled for district level after they were postponed during the August delegates conference due to violence.
The NRM youth delegates across the country rushed to 151 districts that make up the party for the elections of the Youth League and the Youth Member of Parliament. The elections were sent to the district level after the last previous delegates conference was marred by violence, leading to suspension of the elections. At various polling stations, a delegation of youths was made of small numbers, about 10 to 20, who participated in the elections. The process started with clearance of delegates by reading their names, after which they were allowed to go on and cast their votes in an election that was by lining up. In the National Youth League chairperson race, all eyes were on both Tanga Collins and Brenda Chichoncho, although the numbers seemed to have turned in favor of Tanga Collins, with Chichoncho coming way behind Tanga at the various polling stations. The youths welcomed the decision to have these elections at the district level, which they said led to the most peaceful elections, unlike what happened at Kololo during the delegates conference.
So far so good. Everything has got advantages and disadvantages. The organization is okay by now.
I think now there won't be excuses of maybe voter bribery.
Among the delegates was the bedridden Sheikh Mbabali Mwana Mjimu, who was vying for the position of publicity for the National Youth League. Mbabali, who is also recovering from a campaign trail accident sustained in Barara on June 21st, 2025, was transported on a sick bed to the NRM Rubaga district offices, where he participated in the polls, scooping all the votes.
Here we are 9 voters and we have voted all of them. All of them have voted for me.
The NRM Vice Chairperson for Kampala, Salim Uhuru, commended the youth for setting an example of what the elections should be like in the party, vowing to move that such a system is adopted during other delegates' conference elections to avoid violence.
If you see how the exercise has gone, it has been so smooth, no intimidation, no bribery. It is just choosing your candidate of your choice.
Because NRM, we are one family, we are one people, we should not fight.
Final results are expected to be announced at the National Tally Center, set at the Electoral Commission offices, where tallying of results started at midday.
Sime Hillary had 0-0. Nantamba Pascal had 0-0.
Other elections for the entrepreneurs saw the majority of the contenders step down, leaving unopposed members in the race.
Mr. Wagoli Dominic was contesting for position of Vice Chairperson Eastern. He has withdrawn. So all these positions are now going to be unopposed.
The members coming up unopposed is going to be very helpful to the party. One, it is not going to divide the people.
Now, what began as an empty venue guarded only by security personnel later turned into a tense but eventually peaceful election day in Toro as 62 youth delegates gathered to cast their votes in the long-delayed NRM Youth League elections. Amid early chaos over unpaid facilitation fees, Colin Stanga emerged victorious as National Youth Chairperson League, scoring a landslide 61 out of 62 votes, bringing calm to a process previously marred by disorder in Kampala.
By 10 a.m., Tororo Works Yard, the venue for the youth elections, was still empty, with no delegates in sight except for security personnel guarding the two voting centers within the grounds. Hours later, the 62 delegates expected to participate in the elections from both Tororo County and Tororo Main District began to arrive. They underwent thorough vetting by security personnel before being allowed into the heavily guarded voting grounds. However, the elections, which were already behind the midday schedule, were further delayed for nearly an hour due to chaos caused by the youth who demanded their facilitation fee of 700,000 shillings before casting their votes. Shortly after receiving their facilitation, the voting exercise resumed. It began with the election of the national chairperson of the NRM Youth League, where Colin Stanga garnered 61 out of 62 votes, beating 9 other contenders who scored 0 votes.
The young people need a strong leader. They need a leader of character. And you need to go head on and achieve with the young people together. And that's what we went to address. We said, get your feet back on ground, run, stop jogging, run and go and achieve the mandate of the young people that was stolen by the tribunal.
The elections, which were previously marred by chaos when first held in Kampala last month, prompting the decentralization, were this time peaceful across the Bukedi sub-region.
We commend the police and other security agencies that have helped us in doing the vetting, and those who were non-voters were asked to move back, and I didn't see any protests.
With the elections registering no major challenges, district party leaders within the sub-region are now urging the Secretariat to adopt this decentralized method for future elections.
In Kampala, we were seeing bias voting, but here now, we know these youths, we know this structure, we are the one who elected them.
You can see the number is very manageable. You can identify who's a delegate, who's not a delegate. So for me, this is the best way.
Despite a slow start to the process, no major incidents were recorded in the elections of the NRM Youth and Entrepreneurs League. Provisional results show that Masai Kanyasuje winning with 18 votes. Her competitor Diana Kampe got 6 votes, and that was in Arua.
In Arua City, the elections of the ruling National Resistance Movement Party, Youth and Entrepreneurs League kicked off at around 1 p.m. The NRM returning officer for Arua City, Tom Amago, has said they worked hand in hand with the security to ensure that the elections are peaceful.
Cooperation that I have shown towards these elections, it has been so calm that we are so grateful for it.
The delegates who arrived at around midday applauded the party for accepting to conduct the elections afresh.
I also urge my fellow youth delegates across the country to emulate what we Arua City delegates are doing, to have peaceful elections which are preceding elections to our general elections which are fast approaching.
So Kololo, things are not okay, but bringing the elections down to the districts, I feel so grateful, because the respect, the integrity the youth are trying to show out to the world is so much different from when the elections are supposed to be done in Kololo.
The standout battle was between Diana Ampaire Kampe, who got 6 votes, while her competitor Masi Kasinje got 18 votes. As they battled,
Looks like everyone these days has an X account, and so do our leaders. So what are they saying online?
X account as in the accounts they used to have X?
No, you mean Twitter. Let's get to social spotlight to find out what the leaders in this country are saying. And it is President Yoweri Museveni. I welcomed NRM members from Uganda who showed remarkable unity by rallying behind our flag bearers after the primaries. I congratulate them, and I can see the spirit of the National Resistance Army NRA coming back. Supporting NRM is first of all for stability, secondly for the future of Uganda. That word NRA in there is loaded with meaning. Let's get to something else here as well. Anita Mong Magogo is the Speaker of Parliament. Earlier today, I joined His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni at the Inter-Party Dialogue for Development IPOD Summit held at Coral Independence Grounds. The theme of the summit was Together for a Peaceful and Sustainable Uganda. The event brought together leaders from various political parties. I wish to express my sincere appreciation to all the political party leaders who attended. Engaging in dialogue, even amidst political disagreements, is a vital step towards restoring integrity in our political discourse. The Speaker of the 11th Parliament, Anita among there. Then General Jim Muhwezi K has said that thrilled to launch the construction of Kakindo Bridge today in Omuruhita, Sero, in Bugangari sub-county. This vital infrastructure, costing over Uganda shillings 500 million, will connect communities, boost trade and tourism, and transform lives, and that will be in the very famous Rukunjiri. I haven't been to Rukunjiri, and what I do know is that they were Nyabujumbura, like their place.
That's true, and that word is Omurhita, not Omurhita.
Omurhita.
Here is more to come.
More to come, brought to you by
Refined, fortified, blended pure vegetable cooking oil, second best to a mother's love.
The second edition of the National E-Mobility Expo officially kicked off today, and we hear calls from various stakeholders to embrace electric mobility. All that coming up after this break. And
I can say Omurhita, but I want you to say Amaziga Kurukutia Jigariga Kurukutide.
NBS Live at 9 takes a break.
Ready to transform your commutes? Embrace a greener, more affordable way to travel and promise of agile entrepreneurship with e-mobility. The future is here. E-mobility is tackling today's most daunting challenges. See it in action at the National E-Mobility Expo 2025, September 18th to 19th at the Kira Vehicle Plant in Jinja. Head to our digital channels and follow the link www.neme.kiramotors.com to register.
This sound, this is us, our shared life, our common ground. As we near the elections, this is what we must protect. Our strength has never been in thinking the same. It's in talking through our differences. It's in choosing dialogue. We have all seen those posts that make our heart race, that make us angry. But what if our first reaction wasn't to share, but to ask, to verify, to talk to a friend? Peace isn't a big, complicated idea. It's a choice we make every day. It's choosing to listen to your neighbor, even if you disagree. It's making sure everyone has a voice. It's remembering that after the votes are counted, we still have to build this country together. This isn't about who wins or loses. This is about us. It's about the Uganda we leave for our children. Let's promise each other to talk, to protect, to unite. Tuongee, let's talk peace UG, our Uganda.
A glorious night, a living legend, a once-in-a-lifetime concert, one you cannot miss. Grammy Award winner and international renowned sax player Kenny G is coming to Uganda for a grand jazz concert at Mestill Gardens for one night only. Imagine
Live, one night only with Kenny G. This is truly a chance of a lifetime. Kenny G early bird tickets are now available at 200k, and they are flying. Gold tickets at 300k and platinum table of 8 at 6 million shillings. Get your Kenny G tickets at quicket.co.ug. One night only with Kenny G. Sunday, September 28th at Mestill Gardens, powered by MTN. One night, one legend, Kenny G. Visit quicket.co.ug.
Cooking all that makes food sweet. Tastes so good like mama's keys. Sweet time masala, yeah. Stir God, it's the oil you need for a tasty meal to live a healthy, happy life. Stir God, refined, fortified, blended pure vegetable cooking oil, second best to a mother's love.
Yes!
Everyone has a dream this year, and it's your turn to Joga 2025 with ABSA. Switch to ABSA and make your dream a reality by applying for the ABSA salary loan. Call 0800 222 333 and let's get started. ABSA, your story matters.
Yeah, possible.
Looks like whoever drops the ball buys a Pepsi. Go on, Jack. Sonny! Saved by Leah Williamson. Wow, Vinny Jr., game over.
Wait, there's only one Vinny J.
Pepsi, thirsty for more.
It began with a small step, a loan to build a future, and savings for a rainy day. From a microfinance to a full-service bank, we've grown to serve you better. Empowering communities, supporting businesses, and safeguarding your future. Pride Bank, your growth is our pride.
Business Pulse, brought to you by
It's the Business Pulse. The second edition of the National E-Mobility Expo has officially kicked off with calls from various stakeholders urging Ugandans to embrace electric mobility. The two-day event taking place at Chira Motors Vehicle Manufacturing Plant in Jinja is a collaborative effort designed to accelerate Uganda's transition to electric mobility.
Under the theme Powering Innovation, Accelerating Industrialization and Shaping Africa's Green Future, the second National E-Mobility Expo has attracted a wide range of stakeholders, all showcasing innovative products and solutions aimed at driving the e-mobility revolution in Uganda and beyond. The expo opened with an engaging panel discussion where experts from various sectors highlighted the importance of embracing e-mobility, urging Ugandans to take part in this transformative shift.
We are seeing greatness. We are seeing what the president is talking about, build Uganda by Uganda. And it is here, it is evident. You can see the buses. They are wonderful buses. The ground clearance is good. We are also working on the roads to ensure that we shall not have issues of maintenance. You can see the small cars. So all those that are doing Uber, there are cars here. You come and visit. This place is open.
If we want to reduce pollution of the country, then this country has no option but to go e-mobility. What are our targets? By 2030, we want all the motorcycles to be e. By 2050, We want all the passenger transport vehicles to be E.
Over the past few years, Uganda has made significant strides in advancing its e-mobility agenda. By 2024, the country had invested over $180 million into the sector, with a target of producing 10,000 electric vehicles annually. Kira Motors, a key player in Uganda's e-mobility journey, now boasts 28 local suppliers and plans to increase this number to over 60% of vehicle parts sourced locally by 2030.
At Kira Motors Corporation, we manufacture mobility solutions. Why? Because manufacturing involves value addition. We receive parts in their raw form and we convert them into parts. For instance, we receive tubular steel sections as just normal tubular steel sections, and we convert them into the front fascia, the side panels, as well as the frame of a vehicle. That's not assembly, that's manufacturing. Of course, we are careful about the extent of manufacturing because globally, no manufacturer makes every component of theirs in-house. It is called an ecosystem that supports the realization of this product. That's why we talk about supply chain localization.
Good evening. These are the headlines from the world of sport here on Live at 9. My name is Jermaine Egesa. Now, Absa Bank Uganda has flagged off 8 Ugandan runners to South Africa ahead of the Run Your City series that are scheduled for the 24th of September 2025. The athletes and their sporters winners in the men's and women's category of the 2024 and 2025 Absa KH3 7 Hills Run, an event that drew thousands of participants and raised funds to support girls' education. The team includes Brian Ategeka, Evers Nasasira, Philip Kipto, Collins Cherotich, and Annette Chesang.
The decision to send runners to South Africa is part of our pledge as part of the prizes for winning the participation in the marathon that happened in March, the Absa Kampala KH3 Run. One of the prizes was a trip, and that trip to participate in a marathon. So it's important to motivate the runners who are coming. There will be another marathon happening next year, also around the same theme, educating and keeping vulnerable children, girl children in school. We raised through this last run about 400 million shillings, partnered with about 20 organizations, reached out to total over 17,000 girls. We want to ensure that we continue to do this good thing.
This is a blessing that I didn't anticipate because it's something I had totally forgotten. I was given a call to notify me that I'm going to run, and I was very anxious. I have not run a 10-kilometer race, but this is going to be a real test for me. I bless the Lord so much because I ran that Absa run, but mine is from last year. And I hope, because I really ran around 35 minutes, I hope maybe this time, whereas people will be chasing 30 minutes and so forth, I hope I can do maybe 32, 33 minutes.
It's a very big opportunity for people who want to compete, because if you want runners to participate in your event, you must be able to show that you're going to give them something. So by doing that, you attract more serious runners.
Now, ahead of the Intare Lions League Season 16, which kicks off in October, the 3-time record champions Abashweki have unveiled Amara Personal Care Products as the official sponsors for the upcoming campaign. The partnership reflects a shared vision to redefine the matchday experience with a promise to keep things both fresh on and off the pitch.
Main focus here is to give back to the community. Amara, as you may have realized, is one of the biggest brands in Uganda, and this has been so because of the consumers who have attested and accepted the product.
The partnership was done to foster the goodwill that Uganda has with Kenyan manufacturers, and Dembe as the local distributor, one of the oldest companies. Everybody knows Dembe, so we were encouraging everybody to try and help Ugandan youngsters. Because
we've been doing some training and engaged in a couple of friendly games, and I believe also with this sponsorship that we've gotten from Amara Lotions is really going to give us a good boost going into the season, and we
hope to increase the brand awareness for Amara, and also we hope to increase on our fan base as a team so that we can achieve the values that we both share.
And say that financially we have partnered up with these guys, and so we are ready on that side. Then we have also bought some new players, very exciting young talents, and so we are very, very ready for the new challenge.
And that brings us to the end of the headlines here from the world of sport on Live at 9. For more of these stories, the insight, and of course, detailed analysis from our panel of seasoned experts, join us on NBS Sport and NBS Sport 2, exclusive to the Afro mobile app, where we're all about championing Ugandan sport.
Wangula tukutuku ne sabuni jama. Buli wagula sabuni jama, Prestige Margarine, sabuni owokunaba, owalanzo, owobuwunga yoza, owatos, chapa mandasi, baking powder, ebibiriti bya solio, buto wa rinsen, omuzigo gwa kasuku ne tili, nala instant noodles, nebirala bingi nga biweza obukadde butaano n'okudda waggulu. Abo ofunira wakakonge kojjuza nga kakuyingiza buterevu mu kalulu ak'okuwangula tukutuku, n'ebirabo ebirala nfoofo, ebyobuliwo. Wangula tukutuku ne sabuni jama.
Transform your event with Peno Events. From elegant weddings to impactful corporate events, Peno Events has you covered. We specialize in crafting tailored experiences for any occasion, whether small and intimate or grand and large scale. Our services include cocktail seating and Louis mesh chairs for comfort and style, professional podiums and crossback chairs for formal setups, pagoda tents and standalone parasols for a perfect outdoor vibe, mobile toilets for guest convenience. Let our expert team handle every detail so you can relax and enjoy. Peno Events. Safe, reliable, stylish.
Uganda, are you ready to dance all night? The ultimate house music experience, Imberfest, is here. Join us for the hypnotic beats, deep bass lines, and pure energy from Uganda's hottest underground DJs on the 20th of September at Sishanyama Village, Bugolobi. Get your crew, get your vibe, and let's Imba. Imberfest is proudly sponsored by Paragon Entertainment, Car Culture, and Rock Telecom. Let the rhythm move you.
Looking for a vacation of a lifetime? Cross the equator and discover Pineapple Bay Resort. Enjoy exceptional life's luxuries. Spend quality time with family, friends, or even that special someone. Get in touch with nature with our range of outdoor activities. The calming tranquility of water, breathtaking views, moving memories around campfires. It's all here. Plus, a club experience like no other at Pineapple Bay Clubhouse. It's a whole vibe. You can hire any of our 3 VIP cruise boats for groups of 10, 14, or 25 people. Or you can cruise out with swag on a luxury yacht for 12 people. Our premium boats are all safety compliant. Make your next vacay an all-round experience at Pineapple Bay, located on Bulago Island, right in the midst of Lake Victoria. Talk to us today.
At Quick Computing Limited, we specialize in powerful print and branding solutions, from election posters, campaign flyers, and banners to offset and digital printing, screen printing, embroidery, vehicle and building branding, labels, corporate stationery, signage, and even flatbed printing on glass and acrylic. Our services are built for businesses, government institutions, NGOs, schools, and years. From Kampala to Congo, Kenya to South Sudan, Quick delivers. Visit Quick Computing Limited, Plot 15, 7th Street, Industrial Area, Kampala, or go to quickcomputing.co or call +256 392 178 141. Quality with perfection.
Up next. Brought to you by Rock Boom. Energy for winners.
Our time is fast spent, and but broadcast never closes here, does it?
It never does, never does. We do have Simon Kagwanjala, who is here with us. Simon, when you came here, were